We originally planned to stay in Portugal for only 1 week, but fell in love with Portugal and ended up staying a month and a half. This is our first time in Lisbon, and in this video we would like to share with you our first impressions of Lisbon, Portugal. If you are new to our channel, we are Irina and Devon. Just be out with us. Lisbon has such big hills that they actually have to have staircases to come up the hill, or some hills even have escalators to get up, and one more has an elevator. That is crazy.
Yep, like we said before, steps, steps, and more steps. One thing we notice here in Lisbon is that between blocks, all staircases, they always have space to put some type of restaurants and tables.
Kiosks here in Lisbon is a part of a culture. They're everywhere, and a lot of times they have tables outside of those kiosks. They have live artists, live music here. I'm not sure what it looks like in the winter time. If you've been to Lisbon winter time, let us know how people drink coffee or having drinks in winter time, because the kiosks are pretty much outdoors that you have to have your meal, but really cool.
While in Porto, we thought they were a lot of hills, and being there for a month, we went through a lot of hills. But here in Lisbon, oh my gosh, look, there's hills there, there's hills there, hills everywhere. We're just going to a coffee shop, and there are so many hills to climb. So something to keep in mind, you're gonna get your cardio workout. Secondly, you see this? All these tiles on the floor. As you can see, they're very reflective. They're shiny. They have a glaze on them. Well, if you try to walk on these with heels, you will bust your ass. So women, leave them heels at home. Also, when it rains, it gets even slicker. So yeah, you definitely don't want to be in heels while walking on these hills. Another thing we noticed about Lisbon, not only is the streets made of cobblestone and they're slippery, but they're very uneven. If you don't pay attention to how you're walking, there are a lot of divots, a lot of holes, and it's super uneven. So you really need to watch the way you walk. Irina tripped and kind of twisted her ankle, and it took her a little bit to kind of get back the feeling into her ankle after a while of just sitting down. But I've seen a couple of people kind of just, kind of twisted their ankle. So be careful when you're walking in these streets, not only because it's slippery, but it is very uneven.
There are so many scooters here in Lisbon. We see them laying around or parked everywhere and anywhere. And there are actually 4 different companies. There is Uber, has e-bikes and scooters. There is Bird, Bolt, and this company, Link. And it is so cool. People ride them everywhere. And sometimes there are even 2 people on one scooter. Really cool.
As you can see on this wall, graffiti. And that is the first thing we noticed when we arrived here, is that there's graffiti everywhere in Lisbon. And to me, that's a little shocking, because coming from New York and in the 80s, this is what we saw. This is what I grew up around, is graffiti everywhere. But we notice here in Lisbon, it's here like this all the time. And since the 80s in New York, all of that has been cleaned up. They cleaned up the walls, they cleaned up the subway. Here, the subway, the trolleys even had graffiti all over it. And it's not the type of graffiti where it's like really nice graffiti. It's like almost like disturbing graffiti, and just it makes the place look like dingy. But on a side note, there are some really cool graffiti on the wall. Some artists put together some really cool graffiti. So look out for both of them. I mean, you'll see them everywhere around.
When it comes to public restrooms in Lisbon, well, they are paid. You need to bring some coins with you. Some of them are 50 cents, some of them are €1. Just make sure you have some change with you. In Porto, we love trams. They look so adorable, but they're not as common as here in Lisbon. Trams here in Lisbon is one of the popular ways of transportation. Really cool, and they look so adorable. We were traveling from Porto, from the north of Portugal down south, and now we notice in Porto there was so much breeze.
Compared to here, the air is very stifling. It is static. You don't get much movement. It's just hardly any breeze, and it is very humid.
And the temperature is much higher than in Porto. Well, at least it feels like, because again, in Porto there is breeze everywhere. Even when we were renting apartments without AC, it did not feel hot at all. The Airbnb that we're staying in here, all the windows are open, but there is absolutely no airflow. Even with wide windows open, no air circulation, and when you walk around you just feel really sticky and hot again because there is no breeze. If you have been to Lisbon before, please share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please click like, and if you would like to support our channel, click the heart button below this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, just be out with us.